here at the National Museum of the United States Air Force in front of the Lieutenant Quentin Roosevelt display. In the summer of 1918, 20-year-old Lieutenant Quentin Roosevelt, son of former President Theodore Roosevelt, was a pilot with the 95th Aero Squadron, 1st Pursuit Group stationed in France. Flying a Newport 28, Roosevelt and several other members of the 95th were attacked by enemy aircraft as they patrolled and crossed over into German held territory. In the course of the ensuing dogfight, Roosevelt sustained 2 gunshot wounds, and his plane spiraled out of control and crash-landed behind German lines in a field outside of the village of Champlain. The Germans, after ascertaining his identification and relation to the much-admired former president, buried him the following day with full military honors, marking his grave with this handmade basswood cross. In August, the area near Champlain and Roosevelt's gravesite came under Allied control, and this cross was removed. A more permanent grave marker was installed. Lieutenant Roosevelt's gravesite became somewhat of a shrine to other American pilots and French citizens, and as such, President and Mrs. Roosevelt declined to have their son's remains repatriated after the war. They had intended to visit the gravesite. However, President Theodore Roosevelt died 6 months later, as he was greatly affected by the death of his youngest son. In 1955, at the request of the Roosevelt family, Quentin Roosevelt's remains were removed to the American cemetery at Saint-Laurent-sur-Mer in Normandy, where he was interred next to his brother, Brigadier General Theodore Roosevelt Jr., who died following the D-Day invasion. The original wooden cross that marked Quentin Roosevelt's gravesite can be seen on exhibit in the Early Years Gallery at the National Museum of the United States Air Force.